Hello friends. I am telling about the history of Egypt. What is Egypt and what is history of Egypt? Egypt, located in North Africa, has a rich history that spans over 5,000 years. Here is a brief overview of the history of Egypt. Ancient Egypt, circa 3100 BCE, 30 BCE. This is the era of the pharaohs, the Great Pyramids, and hieroglyphics. Ancient Egypt was a highly advanced civilization, with achievements in science, art, architecture, and agriculture. It was also a powerful kingdom with a strong military. Greco-Roman Egypt, 332 BCE, 642 CE. Egypt came under the rule of Alexander the Great in 332 BCE, and then later the Romans in 30 BCE. During this time, Greek and Roman influence was felt in Egypt, and Alexandria became a major center of learning and scholarship. Islamic Egypt, 642 CE, 1517 CE. The Arab conquest of Egypt in 642 CE marked the beginning of Islamic rule. During this time, Egypt became a center of Islamic culture and scholarship. The Fatimid dynasty, which ruled from 969 CE to 1171 CE, was particularly important in this regard. Ottoman Egypt, 1517 CE, 1805 CE. Egypt came under Ottoman rule in 1517 CE. During this time, Egypt experienced significant economic growth and development, particularly under the reign of Muhammad Ali Pasha. Modern Egypt, 1805 CE, present in the 19th and 20th centuries, Egypt underwent significant political and social changes, including the rise of nationalism, the British occupation, and the overthrow of the monarchy. In 1952, a military coup led by Gamal Abdel Nasser established a republic, and Egypt has been governed as a republic ever since. Ancient Egypt. The civilization of ancient Egypt developed along the Nile River, which provided a fertile valley and a transportation route for trade. The pharaohs, who were considered divine rulers, oversaw the construction of monumental structures such as the Great Pyramids of Giza and the Sphinx. The ancient Egyptians also developed a writing system called hieroglyphics, which was used for religious texts, historical records, and other documents. Greco-Roman Egypt. After Alexander the Great conquered Egypt, the Ptolemaic dynasty ruled the country as part of the larger Hellenistic world. The last ruler of the Ptolemaic dynasty was Cleopatra, who famously aligned herself with the Roman general Julius Caesar and later Mark Antony. Egypt became a province of the Roman Empire in 30 BCE. Islamic Egypt. The Arab conquest of Egypt was led by Amr ibn al-As, a companion of the Prophet Muhammad. Under Islamic rule, Egypt became a center of learning and scholarship, with famous scholars such as Ibn Khaldun and Ibn al-Haytham. Cairo became the capital of the Islamic world, and the Al-Azhar University was established as a center of Islamic learning. Ottoman Egypt. After the Ottoman Empire conquered Egypt, Muhammad Ali Pasha rose to power and instituted a series of reforms aimed at modernizing the country. He established a professional army, built infrastructure such as roads and canals, and encouraged industrialization. However, these reforms also led to increased taxation and forced labor, which sparked discontent among the population. Modern Egypt. In the 20th century, Egypt underwent significant political changes, including the rise of nationalism and the overthrow of the monarchy. In 1952, a group of military officers led by Gamal Abdel Nasser overthrew King Farouk and established a republic. Nasser became a powerful leader who pursued a policy of Arab nationalism and socialism. He nationalized the Suez Canal, which led to a crisis with Britain and France. In the later part of the 20th century, Egypt signed a peace treaty with Israel and underwent economic reforms under President Hosni Mubarak. However, political unrest and protests erupted in 2011, leading to the ouster of Mubarak and a period of political turmoil. Now I am telling about the periods of Egypt. I hope you are enjoy my video, then subscribe my channel and like my video and share it. Sure. Here are some additional key events and periods in the history of Egypt. 1. The New Kingdom, circa 1550 to 1070 BCE. This was a period of great prosperity and power for ancient Egypt, during which the country expanded its territory and built monumental structures such as the temple complex of Karnak and the mortuary temple of Hatshepsut. 2. The Amarna period, circa 1353 to 1336 BCE. This was a brief period during the New Kingdom when Pharaoh Akhenaten attempted to introduce a monotheistic religion centered around the god Aten. He moved the capital to a new city called Akhetaten and ordered the destruction of traditional religious art and iconography. 3. The Third Intermediate Period, c. 1070 to 712 BCE. This was a period of political instability and fragmentation in ancient Egypt, during which the country was ruled by a series of weak pharaohs and competing local rulers. 4. The Persian period, c. 525 to 404 BCE. After the Persians conquered Egypt, the country was ruled by a series of satraps, governors, who were appointed by the Persian king. Despite this foreign rule, Egypt continued to develop culturally and artistically. 5. The Arab Spring, 2011 to 2014. In 2011, a series of protests and demonstrations erupted in Egypt, calling for the ouster of President Hosni Mubarak and greater political freedoms. After weeks of protests, Mubarak resigned and was replaced by an interim government. However, political turmoil continued, with the military eventually taking control of the government and cracking down on dissent. The period of political unrest and transition is known as the Arab Spring, which also affected other countries in the Middle East and North Africa. 6. The Modern Era, 2014-present. In 2014, former Army Chief Abdel Fattah el-Sisi was elected President of Egypt in a controversial election. His government has been criticized for its crackdown on political dissent and human rights abuses, including the imprisonment of journalists and activists. Egypt has also faced economic challenges, including high unemployment and inflation. However, the country remains an important cultural and economic center in the Middle East, with a rich history and vibrant artistic traditions. Thanks for watching.